I see art therapy as being a creative outlet for things that we, especially as veterans, we suppress and we hide. When you're in the midst of war and something awful happens around you, you don't have time to deal with that right now. You've got to kind of stuff it and move on and take care of your mission and your tasks that you have to do. And then you have to deal with it later.
Years after active duty service in the Indiana National Guard, Dusty, a retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4, found insight and healing through art therapy at the Indianapolis VA Hospital.
One of the things that we did in the art therapy group was the therapist came along and gave us each a ball of clay. And this particular session, I wasn't able to just kind of come up with a thought or an idea to do. And finally the therapist said, just shut your eyes and just kind of go with it. So I did, and I just started manipulating the clay. And I just started moving my hands and my thumbs and just whatever felt right.
In the profession of art therapy, we're trained to use the creative process and symbolic, or what we call nonverbal communication, that's afforded when you're making art. So in the process of making art, you are able to access different parts of yourself, different feelings, different ways of thinking that you might not have access to when you're talking.
What I came up with was this ball of clay with a lot of holes in it. So I sat back and it was like, what does this mean inside? So I had to really delve inside and look at it, and I think to me it became the faces of depression. You could be fine one day and all happy and nice, and something is said or done or something happens and you just fall into one of those holes, so to say. And if you're not able to climb right back out, then you could fall in another hole and fall into a deeper level. And there's actually one hole in the project that goes in but doesn't connect to any of the others. All the other holes connect. But this one is I think represents the real deep depression that somebody could get into, and they don't feel like they can find their way out.
It's very important to be able to put outside of oneself what you're dealing with, because a lot of times we need that objectification. We need an objective presence to help us see ourselves. Engaging in art therapy, engaging in the creative process helps to synthesize both conscious and unconscious.
Several weeks later, I was looking at it and just kind of taking it in, and I realized that, you know, when you are in one of those holes, if you turn around and look up or look out, there's a light there. Is that, yeah, you may have a problem with depression, but that doesn't mean you're always depressed. There are lights at the end of the tunnel. You can find your way out for periods of time, and you can find people out there who can support you.
Dusty says pushing past her own resistance is sometimes the key to feeling better.
I know I'd be sitting there in the art therapy class, and I'd come in saying, I really don't want to be here. My back is killing me. My neck hurts, my wrists hurt, whatever. But once we get into the project, it was like all that just kind of goes off to the side, and you can concentrate and focus on what you're doing. And for that short period of time, your body actually relaxes, your mind relaxes, and it just gives you a sense of well-being for that period of time.
What's really important is to offer and provide opportunity to engage in different ways of healing. And art therapy is a really strong, effective way that is shown by the people that have engaged in the process of doing it, that have done the work, you know? And so it is something that we would really like to continue to offer, you know, in through the VA system and through other veterans-related systems, you know, not just here in Indiana, but everywhere.
For other profiles and resources for veterans, visit WFYI.veteranscominghome.org.